Hey everyone, it's Anya. Welcome to my channel, and I will be showing you my first attempt at recreating a dresser for my daughter's room. Again, it is beginner friendly because it was my first time doing this and I've never done one before. So if you want to see how I got this dresser from looking like this to looking like that, please stay tuned. Starting off this project, there's going to be a few essential things that you're going to need in doing this. I suggest you getting a paint and a primer for covering, a drill or a screwdriver, preferably a drill. It's a lot easier. A sander, some sandpaper. Also, if you need to fill in some holes, plastic wood putty will do. And then last but not least, some roller and some paint brushes. I'm using this older dresser that we had laying around the house for a little bit, and instead of throwing it away, I just figured that I'd just try to remake it and redo it into something new. As you can see, it has like some scuff marks and some scratches on it, and I just figured, hey, why not give it a try and see if I can make it into something newer and more presentable that I can use. This is what the current drawers to the dressers look like. It's nothing spectacular, just a regular wood dresser with plain knobs on it. I just want it to look more chic and more modern, so I'm just going to go ahead and show you how I'm about to do that. I am doing this project outside only because I do plan on sanding down a dresser a little bit, so there is some sun glare there. There wasn't really much I can do about that. But the first thing that I'm going to do is actually drill off the little metal screws on the back of the nozzles that hold on, or I guess I can say handles that hold on to the drawer. So I'm just going to go on each side and I'm just going to unscrew each of the little screws in the back of each handle to the dresser until they all come completely off. Now I'm just doing the same exact thing with every drawer, just unscrewing the little handle off of each dresser until all of them are completely off. This is what your drawers should look like after you're done unscrewing all of the knobs off of your dresser, just tiny little holes inside of each one. I bought these little silver nozzles from Home Depot. I think they came in like a pack of 15. I like them a lot better. I think it'll go with the color that I have chosen. So I'm just trying in the screw that goes with these nozzles to see how it fits. And luckily for me, it fits perfectly, so I can just use it just like this. Now in this case, I'm going to tell you to do as I say and not as I do. I suggest that you definitely wear a mask so you do not inhale any of the wood chips or the dust or anything that comes off of your drawers or your dresser when you are sanding it. I did do this project outside because it does get very messy. So I just turned my sander on and I'm kind of just going back and forth in the direction that the wood is kind of like grained, and I'm kind of just sanding everything down until it gets that raw wood look that I'm looking for. Now, once you're done sanding it down, it should look just like this. You don't want to sand it all the way down to like the bare wood, but you do want to make sure that you get that top coat off of there as much as possible, just so when you're able to paint over top of it, it goes on very smoothly. But if you do have a dresser that's not as straight as mine along the edges, you can actually take a little piece of sandpaper like the piece that I have here. You can tear it depending on how small it is, or you could leave it big depending on how big it is if you have like ridges and grooves and stuff like that. Take this sandpaper and kind of just dig in deeply around the sides, and you'll start seeing the wood come off like so. I'm just going to do the same exact thing for every drawer for the dresser. I'm just going to go in the same direction that I see the wood going with the sander, and I'm just going to keep sanding it down until the top coat comes completely off. Now, since you see I have straight edges, it was a lot easier for me to just go over top of them and sand it down with the sander that I had instead of using the sandpaper. But again, if you have grooves and stuff like that that the sander cannot get in based off of its shape, I say just go ahead, do the harder way, and kind of just sand it down with the sandpaper so you can get the finished product you need. Once you're all finished, go ahead and take a dry cloth or rag or whatever it is you have and just start wiping down all of your drawers for your dresser. Just wiping it down so that way it takes off any dust particles or any wood particles that are there left over from sanding it with the sander. This is what the finished product should look like once you're all done. I already added my paint to this paint tray, and I'm kind of just rolling my brush through it, kind of making sure that it's fully coated with the paint that I have chosen for my dresser. And I just want to make sure that it's completely coated on all sides. Once that's completed, as you can see, I'm just going right over top of the wood that I have already painted, and I'm just going back and forth kind of vertically, painting over top of it. You don't want to do it all different ways. I don't know if it really matters, but I just did it this way because I wasn't sure if it was going to dry a certain way. And it's just best for you to kind of do it this way anyway. It's kind of like coloring. Just make sure that you keep doing it in the same direction that you originally started until it is completely covered with paint, and then just go on to the next drawer. Now here you're going to see me doing the edges of each drawer for the dresser. Mine are pretty straight, so it's pretty easy. All I'm really doing is going over it with a roller brush, and I'm kind of just painting each edge completely until it's covered with the paint. It's really not much to it for me, but if you have one with like ridges and stuff, I suggest you just using a paintbrush. Just wanted to add a little side note. If you can see, I have a trash bag underneath of this. It does get messy as you're going back and forth with the roller brush. The paint splatters. I don't care how careful you are. It's just best for you to protect whatever floor is underneath of what it is that you're painting. I brought mine back inside just because it was raining outside. If you are choosing to do it indoors or in an area you don't want to get messed up, go ahead and just put a trash bag or a paper bag or newspaper, anything to protect underneath of what's there, because you don't want to get paint on it, and it's very easy for you to splatter paint somewhere that it's not supposed to be. You're just going to continue redipping your paintbrush and painting each drawer that goes to the dresser. I didn't show you how I sanded down the dresser, and that's only because you're literally doing the same exact thing that you did to the drawers to the dresser, and it's pretty simple. You're just sanding it down until it gets kind of raw so you can paint over top of it. This is a rectangle dresser. It doesn't have any grooves or any ridges really, so you're just sanding it down all over until it kind of gets raw, and then you're just painting over it just like you did the drawers. Same thing, same concept, just a bigger item. Now you may want to use your paintbrush just to get into the little ridges, but if you do decide that you do want to use a paintbrush, just go ahead and place it inside of a plastic bag like so that way it doesn't get hard, just in case you want to use it again after it dries and you need to recoat it. Once everything is dry, it should pretty much look finished just like this. I'm just taking those little nozzles that I had bought from Home Depot that I showed you earlier in the video, and I'm going to go ahead and put them onto my dresser now that it's completely dry. Again, luckily for me, I didn't need to use the wood putty for them because it fit perfectly. Now, although I didn't use the wood putty, I will tell you how to use it. Exactly where you see these holes, you'll put the wood putty over top of that. You'll make sure it's all flattened down with either like a plastic knife or one of those little flat tools that they have to kind of spread it out evenly. You'll let it dry, you'll drill a hole, and then you'll put whichever screw in it that needs to go in there that'll fit in there. And then once you're all done doing that, you'll have holes that look like these. And you should also do that before you paint it, just so you know, because I don't want you guys to do it afterwards. But you'll have holes that look just like these, and then you can kind of just put your screws in, put your nozzles on, and then start drilling it in like I'm doing here. Now that I am all done, this is what my finished project looks like. Again, I'm no expert on this. It was my first time doing a DIY, but I do want to thank you all for watching. Please comment down any comments you have below, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.